Why do they go after kids? Why children? The communists, I mean. Why do they go after children? And rest assured, they do. They're very honest about it, very purposeful about it. Lenin has a million quotes about give me 4 years with the next generation and I'll create socialism, communism. Over and over and over again, they've gone after children from a very young age. Pol Pot, you've heard of Pol Pot? He was the communist dictator that took over Cambodia for a few years, and in just the span of just a few years, he murdered 25% of his country's population. Well, Pol Pot didn't actually murder anybody. Do you know who did most of the killing? Kids. 14, 15-year-old kids. Child soldiers out there barely able to hold up an AK doing the killing. Why kids, though? It's so hard for people on the right, normal people, to understand that because it would never occur to you to look at someone else's kids and think, wow, how can I get my hands on them and manipulate them? Why do they go after kids? Well, you have to understand this, and I'm not trying to be too over the top. Until you get to the point where you understand this, you will never learn how the communist thinks. The communist doesn't see kids. The communist doesn't see you as an individual. The communist only sees opportunities to further his cause of destruction. He doesn't view humanity as humanity. He doesn't have any himself. That's why communism has managed to murder so many people. Your kids mean nothing to him. Alive, dead, doesn't matter. None of this matters to him. Your kids are only precious to him if they're useful. If they're useful to further his goals of destruction, then they're precious. But the second they stop being useful, well, now they're the enemy and should be destroyed. People have to understand that. When you see all the filth going on out there right now in schools, when you see all that critical race theory nonsense, your kid's evil, you're racist, you suck, parents get confused, they get scared, they get angry. When parents see all the insane LGBTQ, make sure your kindergartner knows about trans stuff, parents are angry, scared, don't understand, but you have to understand this. The goal is to break your child. To break your child. A broken child can be rebuilt for whatever purposes the communist desires. That is the goal. It's not really about race or LGBTQ or any of that other crap. It's about breaking them. The trans stuff is a great way to break them. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me, like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.